What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Lex News. Welcome to another episode where we talk about anything and everything car related. As always, 4 different segments to cover: the cars news itself, everything that's happening in this world. We have the turbo trends where we talk about the car market trends, which brands are doing good, which ones are failing. And then we jump into Motor Mania where we talk about super cool and unique and quirky custom builds that somebody might be doing. And as always, we finish off with Did You Know, where we discuss pretty cool topics that you probably never knew about. In this case, we're going to talk about some car brands that have hit 1 million miles on their cars. Some of them actually blew my mind because I didn't think they were capable of doing it. Let's dive right into car news. So I'm pretty sure you've heard of this already, but Nissan and Honda have been talking about merging. Now, wait, there's more. There's a third person that entered the chat, and they are called Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi has joined them as well. So there's 3 brands, big Japanese brands that are talking about merging together. In my personal opinion, I don't think this is a power move. I think this is a survival move. Now, here's what I mean by that. As we know, guys, everybody's being pushed to the EVs and the hybrid market. It takes so much money to do research and development and build the infrastructure for manufacturing these EV and hybrid vehicles, guys. And I think, honestly, especially with Nissan in the last quarter of 2024, we're struggling big time to have sales. I think they're at this point are just trying to survive. So why not just put all the money together and kind of expedite that process? It's actually cool to think back, but Nissan, Toyota, Honda, and of course Mitsubishi used to be big power players for sports cars, right? If you go back into the 1990s, Toyota had the Supra, which I'm a big fan of. Nissan had the GTR. Mitsubishi had the 3000 GT, which had the rear steering, if I'm not mistaken, which is super cool for the time. And of course, Honda had the NSX. I do remember reading where they were trying to play with the horsepowers and have like a max of how much each one would produce in order to keep the sales about equivalent. And now we're reading about them merging together. I'm really interested to see what kind of concept cars they're going to start coming out with, hopefully by the end of the year. If this acquisition and this transition and merger happens, it will be a big plus for them. I think it will kind of jumpstart the market for them and the sales, and of course give them new ideas. You know, maybe we'll have a Honda GTR or a Nissan, I don't know, Type R, Civic, whatever. In other news, New York City has implemented something called congestion pricing, where they basically have marked out zones in Manhattan where if you enter it during the peak hours, let's say in the morning or in the afternoon when people are leaving the downtown, you pay $9 to get into those territories or zones. A lot of people are either saying, hey, I kind of like that, and it's actually helping the stats according to some articles that they've done. Instead of being about averaging 11 miles per hour driving through those zones, people are driving almost 18 to 20 miles per hour. That's a big deal. According to New York City, they are going to be using all that money to improve the roads and the infrastructure. Now, obviously, with less cars coming in means people are taking the other transportation options, which should be improved as well. So hopefully it does help. According to New York City, 80,000 less cars should be coming in and out every single day into Manhattan. I don't know if you've ever been to New York or Manhattan. I have once at 2 in the morning driving through there to go to Long Island. I have never in my life seen so much traffic and so much congestion that late at night, and that was not fun. That was not fun at all. And yeah, I can see why they're doing the congestion pricing. Now let's move on to turbo trends, where we're talking about different car trends, and today we're gonna cover something pretty cool. Lamborghinis, guys. They have had a record sales year for 2024. Lamborghinis, man. We're not talking about Hondas that are $20,000 to $40,000. We're talking about $200,000 to $1 million cars having record sales. According to Motor One, in North America, Lamborghini sales have been up 7% in 2024. So over 3,700 vehicles have been sold. I know it seems like, oh wow, that's cute, 3,700. You got to understand, this is people spending well over $200,000 to pick up a vehicle. The Lamborghini Urus, which is the SUV for the Lamborghini brand, is sold out until 2026. That many people are spending well over $200,000 to pick up a new Lambo. The Lamborghini Revuelto, which is the 1,000 horsepower V12 with a hybrid motor, sold out until 2027. So yeah, I would say Lamborghini is doing pretty good. Big fan of Lambos, never had one, had a twin turbo R8, not the same thing according to a lot of people. Now let's move on to Motor Mania, where we discuss super cool and quirky builds, and today we're going to be talking about Gymkhana 10 Ken Block's Hoonitruck. That sucker is going up for sale here shortly at the end of this month, and I cannot wait to see how much money money that thing brings in. I hope to put on the Bring a Trailer so I can follow through with the auction. I'm guessing it's going to bring a few $100,000, maybe more than that. As we know, Ken Block unfortunately passed away, but this 900 plus horsepower Hoonitruck with the all-wheel drive system, custom built from ground up, uses a EcoBoost V6 engine, which I have no idea how they pumped out 900 horsepower from. Fun little quick story for you. I've actually sat inside the Hoonicorn, Ken Block's 1400 horsepower all-wheel drive Mustang. I used to work for this trucking company that was actually put in charge of delivering the Hoonicorn from, I think, Charlotte or Atlanta airport to their Hoonigan's HQ location in Utah. We were not in charge of strapping the car down inside the trailer. We were just in charge of delivering the trailer there to them. Unfortunately, the people that were in charge of strapping down the Hoonicorn did a pretty bad job because this car actually flew in from out of the country. I guess it was doing another show or event somewhere else. Well, they took it from the airplane, they put it inside the trailer, they strapped it down with 1-inch motorcycle straps. When our truck was coming up the mountain, he heard a big loud bang in the back of the trailer. He had no idea what it was, so he pulled over to our facility. They allowed us to open the trailer to see what was going on with it before he continued through the trip. Well, I was the one that actually opened the trailer doors, and when I did, as soon as I opened them, the Mustang was sitting a little at the door and the front end was completely squished because those 1-inch straps for motorcycles did not hold the Mustang very well, and turns out they snapped and the thing just hit the back of the doors of the trailer and unfortunately did quite a bit of damage. But I got to see it first person. That sucker looks cool. Everything is carbon fiber on that car. So once this Hoonitruck plays, I will definitely make sure to come back and let you know exactly how much that sucker sold for. And the last segment is called Did You Know? And today we're going to be talking about an article that CarBuzz put out last year that discusses 22 million mile club vehicles or brands or models that hit that million mile mark that are not Toyotas, because, well, that's just kind of, that's a cheap shot right there, because everybody knows Toyotas can make it to 1,000,000 miles. Out of the list of 22 cars, I'm not going to discuss Hondas and Nissans because, well, at least back in the day, they were made very reliable. There is something I do want to cover, and the first one is a 1990 BMW. I know, that blew my mind when I read that, and I had to triple check and make sure it said BMW. It is a 325i model. Now, the reason it made it to 1,000,000 miles is because this company, Mobil Oil, actually strapped this car down to a dyno for 4 consecutive years. Non-stop, it was on this dyno just driving. They would do the regular oil changes and fluid changes and things like that and add gas, obviously. I consider that cheating in my personal opinion because that car technically did not drive 1,000,000 miles on the road. It didn't drive through potholes. It didn't get the windshields busted. It didn't have the AC working, all the electronics on and used daily, because I personally think even for 1990s, a BMW probably would have had a hard time even making it to 200,000 miles. Now, this next one made me laugh because it's a 2014 Tesla Model S that made it to 1.1 million miles. Now, how did it do it? Well, it went through 13 motor swaps, guys. 13 electric motors went out on this thing. I believe it because that's about, what, 100,000 per motor. My Tesla Model Y that has had 80,000 miles just had its rear motor replaced as well, luckily under warranty. But that Model S also had 3 battery replacements. Now, that part I am kind of surprised about because I figured those batteries would last, what, 300,000 miles or a little less than that or more than that. And the last one I'm interested in is the 1976 Mercedes 240D, which stands for diesel. It ran for 2.8 million miles. And I believe it 100% because when I was born in Belarus, anybody that could afford a Mercedes 300D, which is a diesel, bought it because you just could not kill that car. You could drive it with pretty much no oil in the motor. You could put the cheapest diesel in there and the thing just would keep going. On top of it, the seats were super comfortable. It was like sitting on a couch. I remember buddies of mine would put big springs underneath the back seats, and as soon as you hit a pothole, you were hitting the ceiling. And that's going to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what you want me to cover in the next episode, what kind of topics you want to see. Also, drop a like if you don't mind. That will definitely help the algorithm to get this video out there and help our channel grow. But I will see you in the next episode. Peace.